Hey everyone, welcome to Breakout Wednesday for Thursday, the 30th of Jan 2025. It is currently about 4:30 p.m. on the West Coast, 7:30 p.m. on the East Coast. First of all, remember there's no financial advice, not a financial advisor. Simply a video blog on how one trader sees the market, and everyone needs to take responsibility for their own decisions. All right, so look, markets were at all-time highs. There was obviously, for those who follow the news, there was some stuff coming out about the Chinese AI DeepSeek, pretty amazing stuff, and we had a big sell-off in gap down in like Nvidia and a bunch of other of these leading names, and some of them rallied back a bit, some of them are still around their gap gap downs, but it hasn't stopped the All Lords from kicking on, right? They're flirting up there with new highs, so it's a pretty good market right now. I'm still heavily invested. I mean, some of my open positions did take a hit on this gap down, which I'll get to in a bit, but but most of them are ticking along. So let's just quickly get through them really quickly. First of all, ResMed closed today at a new all-time high. Happy days. Cochlear, nice close today, and it's taken out this new high here after three, lower swings, three high swing lows, which I talked about last week. I went on about it again. But Cochlear, RTX, right? Oops, shit, I think I did the wrong RTX there. So RTX has come back the last 2 days. I'm out of nearly all of it, but I've still got about 1/4 of that. What else was there? ESR's got into a trading halt. There's the one last week I was showing it a loss, and it kind of got on with it, and I didn't sell yet, and it's now in a trading halt. Let's see how that plays out. I think till Monday. NVMI is one of these ones. I gave back a lot of paper profit because it gapped down on the DeepSeek shit. So let's just quickly, IAG, the insurers are new all-time highs. Coles, which I'm not in, but I talked about a lot last week, is a new Breakout today, new high. And just quickly, I've talked a lot about the CBA. Not going to keep crapping on too much, but let's just quickly get up these Davis boxes. Once again, flirting with new all-time highs. Like it's a rally that a lot of fund managers and shit love to hate. And it's got a lot of people shorting it, and that is just happy days. Like as long as those guys still hate this rally, then to me it's just a added kind of reason to hold it until the trend and actual facts in front of my eyes tell me that the situation has changed and that the uptrend is no longer intact. Trend traders try not to give a shit about people's opinions like that. You read the news, it's easy to just get influenced by their opinions, but the fact is, if this thing's trending up, it's trending up, and the rest of it is complete bullshit. And you've got to stick to your guns sometimes, because that's how massive blowout profits are made, right? Just by sticking with trends until they end, right? And that's a CBA, but also Westpac, right? It's pretty up. All right. Now, new bases. Let's do it, because this is where the money's at. I got to find the next big winner out there. Can't just rest on our laurels, right? Let's find the next big winner. And who knows where it's going to come from, but these trusty data scans, Frank's pattern on weekly, it's all I really do. I do inside bars and I do my percent scan a bit, but my go-to when I'm busy is my Davis and Frank's pattern scans, guys. Like, I know everyone's different, but you just hardly miss anything with them. Fisher and Paykel, big base, Rod puts my attention to PE ratio of 124. That's high, isn't it? I just learned decades ago, like with Paladin, right? Like in their PDN back when it was having that bull run during the West Aussie mining boom back in, 2003 to 2006, or no, 2008, meant to say. This, I forget its what its PE was back then. It was crazy high, and the thing just went up 1,000% or something. Remember Zinefx, like ZFX, for those who remember it, it's an offshoot, it's been merged into some other company now, I kind of forget, maybe OZL actually, but it had a PE ratio out the yin yang as well, and it went up like 10x. It's just that PE ratios can be high. It's not going to turn me off. This thing has a huge jump in its most recent 6 monthly earnings per share, massive jump in that, and so obviously there's expectation built into this price, but the fact look at that. Like, look at the base. You know, like, I just, for me to risk some cash, I mean, shit, like I risk cash on tiny little risky tiddlers that with no revenue, and this thing's been basing for like over 10 weeks, which is the magic number. Like, if you get, bases for over 10 weeks and there's something special about them, they're way more powerful than, 1 or 2 week bases. This has given me that with blue sky above it. It's in a great sector right now. So yeah, Fish and Pike I'm pretty keen on a break. FEX, like, I talked about it last week and just how, this is giving hum vibes, and let's just get these simple moving averages off and the exponential moving averages on. And it's just, I was hoping this was really going to base for a lot longer. It's just a bit early, but, I am watching it. Haven't made a call on that, to be honest. I might post the forum later once I make my mind up. Will I take that if it breaks tomorrow? I don't know yet, but if I'm gonna, then I'm probably going to post to the forum so that I'm not talking bullshit. You like to just put it on the line, haven't made my mind up. It is going sideways action there. Let's have a look at the, they're still in downtrends. I'm not going to get too excited about it. Probably it's a no for me, but I'll post later. Brian posted the forum, like, this setup in INSM. Right, so just here, right? I think it was Brian. I've been looking at this too, man, and like, I was looking at it back here. I actually took a loss on this back here. It was breaking out to blue skies, and got whipped in, whipped out, small loss, right? But I never took it off the watch list, and it's just come down, bounced off its 200-day, come up, hesitated, and it's fallen in this tight little range. And I agree with you, like, it's a pretty good setup. Like, it's run a lot from this 200-day. Be nice if it could just chill for a bit there and do nothing. And it is biotech, right? Like, and it's just, there's a few biotech stocks on the list. Like, I've said it a bunch of times, but like, trading biotech's like trading, shit coins, crypto. A lot of fake outs, a lot of, but when you catch them, shit, you can make some very, very quick, good money. And ACAD's come up in a Davis scan, like, just in one of my Davis ones. I bet it comes up in just this filter here. Yeah. So it's just big resistance here. The top of the box is pretty much the same, just a little bit under this by 5 cents, I believe. Big kind of, open area here to rally into. And so looking at that, that's another biotech along with INSM. And there's others, like, I know this is a biotech, right? This is it is a biotech. Sorry, I'm talking about the next one, which I'll get to in a sec. GILD, that's basic. I mean, I don't know why I brought that up. It's a pretty big base, but that needs longer for me. Let's move on. Some other stuff. BOQ on the ASX, and boring old, regional bank. But for the self-managed super funds, I mean, I can't talk because, I've been holding Suncorp for like forever. So a bit hypocritical if I call this boring, but BOQ, it's just a real bit of a shit show, right? In BOQ for years. I've got one account in BOQ, like, and it's clear that they're changing shit, right? And trying to get everything together in order, and then get their shit together. And this is now forming a big base on weekly data. Hope maybe the start of a prolonged recovery. I mean, that's obviously started as recovery back here on this breakout in December 23, but it's been a grind, and it's interesting to watch, see if it can continue. There's a little bit of interest in the tiddlers in the oil and gas sector on the ASX, and the reason I talk about BPT, not because that's a good setup. I mean, look at that there, and it's like that's not really a good setup at all, right? But it's come up in these short-term Davis scans, and I've found a few of them. Like, I found BPT and I found STX coming up. Was it STX? Pretty sure it was. Let's just check. It is coming up, and like, they're not. No one can look at that and say that's a great setup, but it might be in a week or two if that can base there for longer. These are all kind of inside this one day. Like, I call those inside bars. They're not really. Like, this is inside bar, that's an inside bar, but now this takes out that, so it's not. But anyway, I'm kind of cheating there and making up my own terminology. But but they're all sitting in that and it's kind of tightening. If that can tighten for longer, then maybe. I just thought it was interesting. I think OCC is like one of these stocks with supposedly amazing fundamentals that a lot of kind of big, well-known family offices and hedge funds are backing in a big way. It's obviously had a huge run. This rally back here from 30 cents up to $1.60. But if they're right about it, and do your own reading. Like if you subscribe to the Fin Review, just search OCC or for sell and read for yourself. Like there's a lot of hype and a lot of very well-known investors backing it. But that aside, because that's easily can sway you in the wrong way. It's came up in either a Davis or Frank's pattern, I forget, but big base here. I'm just watching that to tighten, form a little right-hand handle. What's another one, guys? ANGO. It's just endless. So it's like ANGO is just like healthcare equipment. Healthcare equipment stocks seem to be really strong right now. This had an earnings. This is earnings, right? Not takeover. Important to know. Like when a big gap up like that's usually a takeover or earnings. They're usually the two things that will do it. But there's been a little bit too much swinging around for it to be a takeover post earnings, and we've just got this tightening up now. And I like these setups, right? These kind of big, powerful gap ups on huge volume on earnings, and then basing, and then bang, another leg up. So I'm watching that. There's just too much I'm watching, right? And that's the problem, is that we're at all-time highs. There's strong setups everywhere. FTNT. Coming up another Davis scan, pipped out here by a little bit. Now it's tightening. It needs a bit longer. I'm watching LULU recover. Right? Everyone probably has heard of Lululemon, but it's had this prolonged recovery, which trading these down sloping resistance lines like that, I must admit it's a great way to get into these things. The risk reward on them is awesome. I've shown so many examples over the years, but I must admit, I don't probably act on as many of them as I should, because but I probably should, because the risk reward, if you get into these big down sloping resistance lines right here with a stop below a swing low, the risk reward on these entries is nuts. Whereas now you're looking at taking it, and the risk reward, for that to make any sense, you'd need a stop down here. The risk reward's a bit bigger. Obviously the trend's a bit more mature. But anyway, that LULU is looking like it's well and truly recovering, and I'm interested, whereas on the other side, Nike, is really not recovering. Well, it might be actually. It faked out here below the support by a few pips, and it's rallying. It's crazy how often that happens before big rallies, but it's just interesting to watch. Hey, let's just have a look at its down sloping resistance line. I know I'm rambling a lot, but this is just kind of me speaking aloud here. We've got that. I mean, Nike's been getting hammered, right? A lot of market share has been going to Hoka and On and Adidas, and a lot of other brands have been kind of smashing them, and even Lulu on their apparel range. And now this, never count Nike out, and it's breaking up out of that resistance maybe. So anyway, I've crapped on too long. There's so much going on right now. There's so much working. Just don't get caught up in it. Just find your setups, do your scans, do your homework, get your rules in place, get a plan in place. Find the best setups, A+ shit that fulfills your requirement and your trading plan. Try and block the noise out, including me, including anyone on the forum. It's got to make sense to your own trading plan, and just follow your rules and be disciplined, right? Take care. Chat next week, mate.